So how should I train for GNCC racing? Should I do 3-hour cardio sessions? Do I need to lift weights? Let's talk about these questions and more, and by the end of the video, I'm confident you'll be able to set up your own training program if you race GNCCs. All right, let's get into it. By the way, if you don't know me, my name is Jacob Pennisi. I'm the fitness director at Millsaps Training Facility. All right, let's start with on-the-bike training tips. First and foremost, ride a lot. That should go without saying, but it doesn't. No amount of gym training will provide better improvement than more seat time. Look at any successful athlete. Let's look at LeBron James. Do you think LeBron James got super successful in basketball because he was lifting weights? No. You have to spend time mastering your craft. For us, our craft is riding. We need to spend more time riding. Now, lifting weights and cardio is absolutely going to make a huge difference in your program, but it's meant to complement the riding. It doesn't make up for the lack of seat time, okay? If you have a perfect gym program, like an absolutely dialed gym program, you still only have half a program. You have to ride if you want to get better. Now, riding a lot also helps you really get in your sport-specific cardio. GNCCs have up to 3-hour races on the long side of things. Doing that sport-specific cardio just by riding is making you really strong and efficient on the bike. You also should be cross-training with motocross. Go to the motocross track, spin some laps, go to a training facility, learn some bike skills. There is a lot of carryover. For instance, when I was growing up, we rode at a place called Timberridge Ranch. It was hundreds of miles of trails. And that's all I rode was trails through the woods and log hopping and hill climbs and all that. And once we started going to the track for the first time, my dad noticed a huge increase in my speed. So if you're feeling pretty stalled out and you feel like you need something different, go to the motocross track. It's gonna help get you out of your comfort zone. It's gonna help you get used to speed. It's just a lot of skill carryover that a lot of people don't think about. Also, practice how you intend to race. Don't just go out for a leisure trail ride, hang out with your buddies, crack some cold ones, whatever you guys do. Pick a loop that's physically demanding and try to find something that's close to the type of race course you're gonna be racing. All right, now let's talk about some training tips off the bike. Strength training. You absolutely should be strength training. In the off season, I like to tell people you can strength train twice per week. If it's in the middle of the season, I would say once per week. As a golden rule, you should aim to hit each muscle group twice per week to build strength, maybe a little bit of muscle, and hit it once per week to maintain. Of course, the more days you train, the better results you're gonna get, but I would consider twice per week to be an absolute minimum for seeing progress. And don't be afraid to lift heavy, all right? You're not gonna blow up like a balloon and be so big that you have to have somebody else scratch your own back. It doesn't happen that easy, it won't happen that quick, and it definitely doesn't happen by accident. Now, since you're only strength training once or twice per week, I definitely recommend doing a full body split. That way you can make sure you hit all your muscle groups at least twice per week. Cardio. If the race is 3 hours long, do you need to do 3-hour cardio sessions to prepare? Well, for best results, yes, that's exactly what you should do. Now, it's not very practical, but ideally you should be doing cardio that is just as long, if not longer, than the duration of your race. However, I know that that's not practical. It doesn't make sense for everybody. Not everybody wants to do 3-hour cycles, and there are ways around it. Look at marathon runners. Marathon runners don't prepare for marathons by running marathons. Usually they start at low mileage and they slowly build up over time. They integrate some speed work, they do some sprints, they do tempo work, and the max they ever run at one time usually is right around 20, 21 miles. So in doing that, you develop the cardio system that's going to be in use for the race, and then you rely on your body's ability to use fuel, adrenaline, the crowd, whatever you need to make sure you can go the rest of the distance. So what should you do? Well, I recommend doing base cardio sessions 3 to 4 times per week. Now, when I say base cardio, I mean zone 2 cardio. If you're using polar, that'd be the blue zone 2, or you can just shoot for around 65% of your max heart rate. Another way to look at that is if I use the RPE scale, which means rate of perceived exertion, you want it to feel like a 4 out of 10. 10 being the hardest thing you've ever done, and 1 being not hard at all. The longer the base cardio, the better. You don't have to do 3 hours. If you want the best results, you should, but start at an hour, try to get to an hour and a half, shoot for 2 hours. The longer you can get, the closer you can get to your race time, the better off you're gonna be. You should definitely add in some HIIT training or high intensity interval training or thresholds. That's gonna be things like max effort sprints or going at a 90% max effort for a longer time, somewhere around 20 to 30 minutes. If you're advanced, you can go longer than that, but definitely it's tough cardio doing high intensity interval training or thresholds for that long period of time. Another thing that doesn't get enough attention is develop a good nutrition strategy. 3 hours straight of high exertion or 3 hours straight of a hard race with no food, bad. Find ways to get snacks, get some electrolytes in, get some water. Try to get on a schedule and be as consistent as you can. One thing that irritates the heck out of me is that people don't practice their nutrition strategy. If we are practicing, we're practicing to race. We're not just practicing for the heck of it. So we should also be using that time to practice our nutrition strategy. Perfect it during your practice days, use it on race days. You shouldn't throw curveballs on race day or try new supplements, try new foods, try new drinks. You should know exactly how your body's gonna react to everything you're putting in it. Now, if this video was valuable to you, I only ask that you please share this with one other person so that we can help them elevate their training, and maybe one person at a time, we can elevate the sport that we just love so much. I'll see you guys in the next video.